Obviously, disappointing weekend for us in Daddy Ficklin. Not what we had wanted. Hats off to Houston for playing an outstanding game, but not the result that we desired. So we have evaluated everything and met a good bit on Sunday afternoon and kind of put that behind us, and worked on the things that we need to improve on, and quickly turned our attention towards a much improving Temple team. So it's going to be a challenge this weekend up in Philadelphia. Just watching the last 5-6 weeks of their season, they've improved drastically from the beginning of the year. Quarterback Warner is playing at a very high level, especially for a young player. Of course, he has really good bloodlines. I think defensively, Temple is very strong as usual. Very good up front, long on the back end, and I think they're looking more and more like what Temple faithful traditionally are used to, as far as just a hard-nosed, solid, very good football team. So it's going to be a challenge going up there and competing this weekend, but one that our players are very excited about. Our coaching staff is working very, very hard to make sure that we're prepared. I expect us to have a good week of practice and go up there ready to go. Questions?
Coach, when you look back at the performance Saturday, can you put your finger on what exactly you think led to the result? Obviously, Houston had a lot to do with that, but just on you guys' end, what led to what played out?
Well, I think it's a lot of that. I think it's almost kind of the perfect storm kind of deal. I think you have to acknowledge Houston, an extremely talented team. That's the reason they were picked to win our conference this year and ranked in the top 15 or 12 whatever preseason. And Dana said after the game, that's by far the best they've played all year. And I do think they put a big emphasis on this game. And so I think you got to start with giving them credit for coming out and playing very, very well. We obviously did not. I don't know that it's one thing as much as just a lot of things that we allowed to interfere with our preparations. I guess the best way I would put it. I just did not feel like we were mentally prepared to play the way we need to play to win a ball game like that. And that's on me. That's on all of us. It starts with me and the staff, and obviously the players. They have a strong desire to play much better than that. So we all discussed through all those things on Sunday, and just focusing back in. And I'm determined to do a great job this week, and have tried to start doing that already, of just making sure that we are just on top of everything as far as our preparation, and because our process and our preparation has proven to result in us being prepared to play very, very well on game day. And I think maybe we weren't quite in sync Saturday. So.
Coach, you expect to see a Temple team that's going to throw everything at you. They have really nothing to play for, not a ball game or anything. And they scored a bunch against Houston. They picked a field goal for a touchdown in that game, and they showed some things that they can do.
Well, I think that, again, you look at the last half of the year, and I think they've played very, very well. They have what is a pretty typical big physical offensive front. I mean, they're 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" across the board. They have a big, strong running back that we saw last year. Receiver-wise, they have several wideouts that have good speed, very good hands, good route runners. They have two really, really solid tight ends. To me, the difference in this Temple offense versus last year is the quarterback. E.J. Warner is. He reminds me very much of the way his dad played. NFL Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. He's very decisive with his decision making, very accurate thrower, very calm in the pocket, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, doesn't take sacks, gets the ball out quick. I think surrounding him with what they had returning, he's really made that offense go the last half of the year. And the game against Houston, threw for 450 yards, and they had the lead with under a minute to go, and Tune hit the long pass with I think 40 seconds left to give Houston the lead. So I think we're going to see a very challenging offense. You mentioned the special teams play. The fake field goal against Houston was obviously, a big turning point in that game. And so, they've done a good job all year on special teams. We're going to have to be very well prepared in the kicking game. And then I mentioned their defense in my introductory comments. It's a big, strong, athletic front. I think they're top 5 in the country in sacks this year. So they're generating a lot of pressure with their front 4. We're going to see a combination of 3 down, 4 down, some bear front. Long and athletic on the back end. So they've done a good job of limiting people all year. Did a great job against Cincinnati last week. So I think it's going to be a challenge, just period across the board. I think it's going to be a physical ball game. It's going to be a tough ball game. It's going to be one of those that it's going to be a very competitive back and forth game, and we're going to play very, very well.
In the past, you've talked about there's not many things that defenses can throw a hole that he hasn't seen, as well as your offensive line's done a really good job protecting him this year. But this probably is the best front 4 you've seen with getting after the quarterback. What is your confidence level going into this week that they can keep holding off his back?
Well, I believe in our kids every week. They've done a good job all year long, so there wouldn't be any reason for me to think otherwise. So they'll be prepared and ready to go.
Coach, coming out of a game like Saturday, do you spend more time analyzing it the same, or you try to move on as quickly as possible? Just kind of what's that balance like when you guys play like that?
Well, obviously I watched it multiple times. I don't really care to watch it again. I spent a lot of time with the staff, making sure that we were all on the same page as we watched it. And then, we spent a little bit of extra time with the players watching it Sunday afternoon. And so, my goal was to get it flushed from us on Sunday. I had a little bit of a longer team meeting with the team before we went out on Sunday. I thought that they were very motivated on Sunday, and we're all ticked off. That's it. We're all ticked off the way we played. Nobody wants to go out there and look like that. I certainly don't want to. I'm not accustomed to that, and it's not how we want to represent this institution, this athletic department. So everybody's determined to play better. Everybody is ticked about last weekend. So anybody that's upset about how we played, I promise you slept more than I have since last Saturday. So we'll get it fixed.
Going up to Temple, obviously a huge stadium, probably won't be the biggest crowd. Just how important will it be to bring that energy and be very engaged on the sideline? Everybody that makes the travel roster.
No doubt. I think that's why. That's why it's so important that we have the correct mindset and mentality. When we leave here on Friday, our team prepared to play with the right mindset. We'll have great energy on the sideline. We'll have great energy on the field. And that's what we'll have to have. That's the way we want to play. That's the way all of us want to play. And so that'll be a big key for it.
Coach, I know you stressed the 1 week at a time, but how important is it to have a similar performance to like maybe UCF or the Memphis game to go into the bowl game this coming weekend?
Well, it's the same as it is every week. It's the biggest game of the year. It's the only game we have this week. So we have a very much of a 1-0 mindset. We want to finish strong in the regular season, and that's everybody does. So that's obviously very important to us.
Coach Keaton, back-to-back years with 1,000 yards rushing, obviously says a lot about him, but also the offensive line. And I think first time in 7-8 years that's been done at ECU. So just what does that kind of say about the progress of the run game?
Well, it was obviously a big emphasis when I got here, and this group. It's why this group is important to us and important to the program, is they've done a lot of things that haven't been done in a long time. It's a great accomplishment by Keaton, but as you said, it's a great accomplishment by a lot of people. But I can promise you this, he would much rather have it in a win. That's the most important thing. Anything personal goal-wise and, stats or anything like that. That's stuff for the postseason. Right now, his focus, I promise you, is 100% on trying to get a win this week against Temple.
Coach, when you watched the tape back, if I felt like there wasn't a ton of pressure on Tune, he had all day to throw. Did you see that when you watched it back, or was that like a planned thing with like a zone defense or what?
Well, I think it depends on what snap you're looking at, because there were times where we're bringing 8 people. He had to get it off pretty quick, and it's a mix against playing against a guy like that of pressuring him or playing coverage. Obviously, we need to do both better.
Does this game sort of present an opportunity to maybe look to the future a little bit and play some different guys, or does it go hand in hand with also trying to win? Like, are those two ideas exclusive?
Our goal every single week is to go 1-0. That's it. The best players play.
Notice Leif was kicking off this past weekend. Just what went into that decision to give him a shot there?
Just he competition in practice, and the need to have better hang time on our kicks. It's been a competition all year, consistently throughout the year. Owen has been kicking the ball with better hang time, and the distance has not been negligibly any different. The past 2 weeks ago, I thought that the kicks just were not. The hang time was not nearly there, and the distance was not there, and so we allowed them to compete throughout the week last week, and Leif was the better performer in practice, and so he kicked off the 2 times we kicked off on Saturday. They'll both compete again throughout the week this week, and whoever gives us the best opportunity, it's just like what I just made the reference to just a second ago. Whoever gives us the best opportunity to be successful will be the ones on the field. But it's entirely up to the kids and the way they compete.
Any other questions for Coach?
Okay, thanks a lot.